climb up a mountain. Surely the goal is the mountaintop, the summit, but everyone has their own trail that forge ahead and discover all the way up as it goes. So that what you see in sequence is the individuation of goodness. That's quite remarkable. It's not impersonal. It doesn't deal in general with drives. It doesn't deal with instincts. It deals with you and your own particular good, your own particular goodness it seeks to unfold. Now let's look at something else. If that's the case, what does that do? What does that present you with? I think it presents you with, if you go through this in this way, with the following. You're involved, therefore, when you're in dream analysis, as we've been playing now for several weeks. There comes a point where the issue itself draws you. You want to see it. So there begins to be a constant reflection on the issues unfolded in the dream. Now, here's something curious. When you're working on a dream, you're turning to the dream. You're focusing on the dream. Look here. Look what this means. Here you are. All right? And now you have to pull together the dream out of its various parts. You have to link them together. You have to link them together. You have to preserve their integrity, so you have to restore its unity. You're focusing on the dream. You're returning to the source. You're returning to the source of the dream. You're returning to the source of the artwork of the master. You're engaged in it. What you're trying to do then is, now here's something rather curious. As you're doing this, you're restoring its unity. You are focusing your mind on the area of the dream, or the dream content. But you're focusing your mind back on the dream, trying to recall the dream. Is it not true that every time you do that and reflect on the dream, you come up with additional pieces that you hadn't expected to find? You add to it. It opens. What does it mean? It means that when you reflect on the dream, you focus on the area of the dream and recover a new content. It's as if, even though you're not in the dream and you thought you understood it and you had all the pieces, by reflecting on it, you're, as it were, focusing on it, and then you discover pieces you hadn't even realized were in it and yet are contributory to its meaning and therefore important. That's reflecting a reversion on the origin of the dream. As you're doing that, you're going through several interesting processes we can talk about. If, as you're focusing on the dream and you get these additional pieces and you begin to see the theme emerge, then you're reflecting on the process, because as this theme emerges, it has a goal, and the goal always is in the dream to open the meaning of the present. Right, to open up the meaning for you, to show you the meaning. So what we're doing now is we're adding something to dream analysis. We want to see whether we can understand the very process of the dream construction. We want to see whether we can get an insight into whatever it is that's doing the dreaming. What is it that's doing the dreaming? What produces it? We also want to see whether we can reflect on the dream itself. Now, as we're reflecting on this process, and we're beginning to see that we're open to meaning, that means if it's in sequence, that meaning emerges. The meaning itself emerges. Not only does the theme emerge, but a meaning emerges. That means it's capable of greater and greater degrees of perfection. It means it's an artwork. It's a crafting on the level of meaning. Look here. For a theme to emerge out of these works, and for the theme, therefore, to emerge over a series of dreams, to be open to that meaning and to see a meaning emerge over a period of time, which you can do, that means there's something that's maintaining something that is emerging. It's presenting for you something to reflect on, which if you can then grasp, it becomes a way to understand your present. Now I want to use a word to represent that. That's the idea of to measure. Because if you have something you can use to understand something with, that's a measure. And therefore, dreams in sequence, where a meaning emerges, you can see therefore that the dream master, or what's doing the dreaming for you, or creating the dream, is maintaining that measure over time. It maintains it. There's something intelligible. It maintains it. To the degree that this is a significant issue that emerges, which you hadn't anticipated, then not only does it maintain that measure over time, it preserves it, or conserves the perfecting. It means there's something in there that is directed, that is concerned, that's carrying the theme from series to series. Therefore, there's something in the dream master that conserves the perfecting process of series of dreams, linking them together. Now, remember we said, as you said a short while ago, sir, Bill, you said that as you saw the focus of the dream and you saw the issue that came up, you then were able to say that's significant. Wait a minute. The more you say it's significant, the more you say you hadn't anticipated, the more it's capable of showing you a part of yourself that you hadn't anticipated, the more you now have to make a curious judgment. How significant is that dream? How significant is the issue it brings up? To the degree that it is more significant than the list of things you thought were important, therefore it means dreams are grounded on the superior. It's grounded on things more superior than you have been able to consider, that you have been able to discover. Then there is something in the dream master that reflects on the process. The process over time is a perfecting process. It maintains a certain standard, what we're calling the measure. It conserves the perfecting, since the perfecting goes on in each dream. The perfecting goes on in each dream. Therefore, it carries that theme consistently over a long period of time. And therefore, it draws you, here's the nice part, it draws you to consider that the issues and the themes presented are superior to those that you have identified in your own life. Therefore, it has a grasp of what's inferior and superior, and it presents the superior. Now, what do we mean by the turning about? Yes?
So is there, are you saying there's no inferior dreams?
There are no